My wife signed the divorce papers, pushed them across the table, and said, "Travis came back." I looked at the signature. Then at Leah. 7 years together. 4 married. Apparently one sentence was enough to end it. "He came back 3 months ago," I said. Leah's face changed. "You knew? You stopped taking calls in the kitchen." She looked away. "You started smiling at your phone in the elevator. You changed the password you'd used since college. And 2 weeks ago, you asked whether people could really love the same person twice." Her fingers tightened around her pen. "So you knew." "I knew there was someone." I slid the papers into the folder. "I didn't know you'd already decided." Leah exhaled like she had been waiting for me to make this harder. "Travis and I never got a real chance." There it was. Not cheating, according to her. A correction. A delayed love story. I stood. "We're done, then." She blinked. "That's it? You brought signed papers. I thought we should talk. You chose him before you asked me to." That landed. Good. I walked out of the private dining room before she could turn her guilt into a discussion about how neither of us had been happy enough. The restaurant belonged to the hotel where Leah's company was holding its executive retreat, which meant I made it 12 steps into the hallway before someone caught my arm. I turned. Vivian Crow, Leah's CEO, the coldest woman I had ever met. Vivian was 37, ran Crow Meridian Health like she had personally outlawed wasted movement, and had once made an entire boardroom restart a presentation because the first slide used 3 different definitions of growth. She was also holding my arm like I might disappear. Her eyes moved toward the folder in my hand. "Signed?" I stared. "You know?" "Yes." "Did Leah tell you?" "No." "Then how?" "Her ex has been waiting in the lobby for 40 minutes. That answered enough. I looked toward the elevators. "Right." Vivian's fingers tightened slightly around my sleeve. Then she said something so completely unlike her that I thought I'd misheard. "Good." I looked back. "What?" She stepped closer. "Good." My chest tightened. "Vivian, I just got divorced." "I know. That is generally not the moment people say good." Her expression did not change. Then she leaned close enough that nobody passing could hear. "Now I can chase you." I forgot Leah. Not emotionally. Physically. For maybe 3 full seconds, my brain stopped processing the rest of the building. "You can what?" "Chase you. You are my wife's boss." Ex-wife. The ink is 20 seconds old. It is still dry enough. I laughed once because the alternative was asking whether the CEO had suffered a neurological event. Vivian released my arm, then immediately looked annoyed that she had. "You're serious?" "Yes." "How long?" Her gaze held mine. "Long enough to know I was not going to become the reason you left your marriage." That was the first real shock. The second came when the elevator doors opened. Leah stepped out with Travis Bennett beside her. He looked almost exactly like the photographs I remembered from Leah's college years. Tall, polished, the kind of man who somehow looked expensive in a plain sweater. Leah saw Vivian standing beside me, then saw how close. Her expression changed. "Miss Crow?" Vivian turned. CEO faced back instantly. "Leah." Travis gave me an awkward nod. "Daniel." I nodded once. No handshake. No confrontation. Leah looked at my arm. At the place Vivian had been holding. "What's happening?" Vivian answered. "Your divorce is happening." Leah stiffened. "I met with you." Vivian looked at me, then back at her. "I'm taking Daniel to dinner." I almost choked. "No, you're not." Vivian's eyes moved to me. I was planning to ask. "Good idea." For the first time, something like amusement touched her face. Then she actually asked, "Daniel, would you have dinner with me?" Leah stared. Travis stared. I stared hardest. This woman had gone from grabbing my arm to asking me on a date in under 2 minutes. Every instinct said no. Not because I disliked her. Because my marriage had just ended. "I'm not dating tonight." Vivian nodded immediately. No argument. "Tomorrow?" I laughed despite myself. "No." "Saturday?" Vivian. Her mouth moved slightly. "Fine." She looked toward the folder in my hand. "When you are ready." That answer changed something. Possessive enough to chase me. Controlled enough to accept no. Leah finally found her voice. "Miss Crow, can I talk to you privately?" Vivian looked at her. "About work?" "No." "Then not tonight." Leah's face tightened. I should have enjoyed it. I didn't. I wanted out. Vivian seemed to understand. "I'll have my driver take you home." "I can drive." "You had wine. 1 glass 3 hours ago." "Then you can drive." She stepped aside. No command. No rescue. I started toward the elevators. Then she said, Daniel. I turned. Vivian's eyes dropped to the divorce folder. When she looked back at me, the cold was gone for half a second. Don't let the fact that she chose someone else make you think you were the thing being rejected. That hit deeper than anything Leah had said all evening. I left before I could answer. At 10:47 that night, a message arrived from an unknown number. This is Vivian. I got your number from Leah's emergency contact file 2 years ago. That was inappropriate for personal use, so I deleted it after sending this. If you ever want me to have it again, give it to me yourself. Then a second message. Also, I meant what I said. I stared at the screen. Then another. About chasing you. Not about the number. For the first time that day, I smiled. And 5 minutes later, Leah called. I let it ring. Leah called 6 times over the next 2 days. I answered the 7th. Not because I wanted her back. Because we still had a house to sell. Daniel. Yeah. You've been ignoring me. We're divorced. Not legally final yet. You signed. That's not what I mean. I sat at my kitchen counter. The house already felt different. Not empty. Released. What do you want? She hesitated. Are you seeing Vivian? I almost laughed. That's what this is about. She grabbed your arm. So? She doesn't touch people. I knew that. Everyone knew that. Vivian's personal space had its own weather system. I'm not seeing anyone. Did she tell you she likes you? I said nothing. Leah inhaled. Oh my God. Interesting. That hurt her. Not losing me. Being replaced by someone she considered impossible. Leah, you left for Travis. I know. Then why does this matter? It doesn't. Lie. We need to talk about the house. Good. Business. I kept it there. After we hung up, I received an email from Crow Meridian. Not Vivian. Their operations group. They wanted me to consult on a manufacturing failure. That made sense. I owned a small reliability consultancy called Veil Systems. I had built it 3 years earlier while Leah's career accelerated. Crow Meridian was one of the largest healthcare logistics companies in the Midwest, but they had never hired me because Leah worked there and we both wanted clean boundaries. Now the email said, we understand your prior conflict may no longer apply. I laughed. Subtle. I called the operations director. Did Vivian initiate this? No. You sure? She recused. That stopped me. From what? Vendor selection. Of course. The company had a real problem. Automated pharmacy cabinets at 3 hospitals were intermittently rejecting temperature-controlled medication trays. My specialty was failure systems under mixed mechanical/software conditions. The contract was exactly the kind of work my firm handled. And Vivian had stepped away before anyone asked. That mattered. I accepted the preliminary review. Then I did something I hadn't expected. I texted the number from Vivian's messages. This is me giving you my number. Her reply came 11 seconds later. Good. Then. Dinner? I laughed. You are relentless. Yes. I stared at the screen. Then typed. Coffee. Public place. 30 minutes. Tomorrow, 8 a.m.? You already checked my schedule? 3 dots. Stopped. Then. I guessed. Terrible liar. We met at a coffee shop near my office. Vivian arrived 5 minutes early. Black coat. No assistant. No driver. No CEO entourage. Just her. I pointed at the chair. 30 minutes. She sat. I know. No divorce analysis. Agreed. No Leah. Agreed. No telling me you've secretly loved me since a company Christmas party. Her eyes narrowed. That is inconvenient. I stopped. You're joking. No. I stared. Vivian took one calm sip of coffee. 3 years. There went my rules. What happened 3 years ago? She looked at the clock on the wall. You said no Leah analysis. That is not Leah. Correct. She seemed pleased with the technicality. Then she said, warehouse flood. South County Distribution Center. I remembered. Crow Meridian had lost a water main. 2 pharmacy storage rooms flooded. Leah called me because their overnight facilities contractor stopped answering. I spent 6 hours helping move temperature-sensitive inventory and rebuild a temporary monitoring system. No contract. No invoice. Leah asked because she was desperate. I remember. Vivian watched me. You stayed until every refrigerated shipment was accounted for. That was the job. It wasn't your job. Leah worked there. Yes. So you had been awake 20 hours, your clothes were soaked, and when the facilities manager thanked you, you told him the night technicians had done the real work. I shrugged. They had. That was the first time I noticed you. Romantically? No. Good answer. When? Later. How much later? 2 months. What happened? Vivian's mouth curved slightly. You told me my emergency plan was stupid. I laughed. I remembered that too. Her company had redesigned disaster response around executive approvals. I told her a flood did not care who had title authority. She argued. I won. Eventually. You were furious. Yes. And attracted? Unfortunately. That was believable. I smiled. Why didn't you do anything? You were married. No tragedy. No giant explanation. Just a line. Then she added, and you seemed happy. That surprised me. We weren't always. I know that now. You didn't then? No. Good. No secret stalking. No fantasy that she understood my marriage better than I did. She watched me for a moment, then asked, do you regret marrying Leah? I thought about it. No. Vivian looked surprised. Why not? Because it was real when it was real. Her expression softened. I hate what she did. So do I. But I'm not going to rewrite 7 years into one bad ending. Vivian looked at me differently after that. More carefully. Good. I laughed. You like saying that? Yes. Our 30 minutes became 47. At the door, Vivian asked, second coffee? I smiled. This one counted? Yes. As a date? Adjacent. I laughed. You're learning. She stepped closer. Daniel. Yeah? I meant what I said at the hotel. I know. I am going to chase you. You also know I'm not ready. Yes. Those two things conflict. No. How? Her eyes held mine. I can want the answer before you're ready to give it. I just can't take it. That was the first moment I thought this might actually become dangerous for me. Not because Vivian was too powerful. Because she was powerful enough to push. And was choosing not to. The consulting review put me inside Crow Meridian's headquarters 3 days later. That was a mistake emotionally. Professionally, it was perfect. The pharmacy cabinet problem was interesting. 3 hospitals. Same model. Failures clustered during shift changes. Not random. Which meant the obvious mechanical explanation was wrong. I spent the morning with technicians. By noon, I found it. The cabinets were fine. The temperature tray scanners were timing out because hospital Wi-Fi traffic spiked during nursing shift documentation. Software blamed the tray. Operations blamed hardware. Nobody had mapped network load against failure timing. I did. Problem identified. Fixable. At 2, I presented the result to operations leadership. Vivian attended. So did Leah. Of course. Leah worked as director of hospital partnerships. She sat 6 seats away. Professional. Cold. Until I started explaining the failure. Then something familiar happened. She watched me the way she used to years ago. Before her promotions. Before Travis came back. Proud. That almost hurt more than anger. I finished. Operations asked questions. Vivian asked the hardest one. Can we fix without replacing the scanners? Yes. How? Queue medication verification traffic separately during shift transition. Cost? Mostly configuration and testing. Timeline? 2 weeks. She nodded. Then turned to operations. Daniel's team leads validation. My firm. Not me personally. Clean. After the meeting, Leah caught me near the elevators. Can we talk? I looked around. About the project? No. Then probably not here. Daniel. I stopped. She looked tired. Not beautifully regretful. Actually tired. Travis and I are staying together. I almost laughed. Congratulations? That's not why I'm telling you. Then why? Her eyes moved toward the conference room Vivian had just left. I don't want you doing something just because you're angry with me. There it was. The first insult disguised as concern. You think I'm seeing your CEO for revenge? You're not seeing her? I stared. Leah looked away. That answer was enough. I said, you chose Travis. I know. I accepted it. I know. Then stop acting like my next choice belongs to the story of your mistake. That landed hard. Good. I walked away. Vivian was waiting by the lobby doors. Not for me, apparently. Which meant absolutely for me. You look angry. I'm fine. Lie. Do you always wait outside other people's difficult conversations? No. Just mine? Yes. Possessive. Direct. I should have been annoyed. Instead I laughed. Vivian looked toward the elevators where Leah had disappeared. Did she upset you? No. Another lie. Vivian caught it, then did something unexpected. She offered me her hand. Not grabbed. Offered. Palm up. I looked at it. What is that? An invitation. 2. Walk outside with me before you say something stupid to your ex-wife. I smiled. Specific. I know you. Do you? Her hand remained there. I took it. First deliberate contact. Vivian's fingers closed around mine. Her expression changed immediately. Tiny. Satisfied. We walked out through the lobby. Employees noticed. Of course. Leah noticed too. I saw her reflection in the glass behind us. That was the first public preference. Not a declaration. Enough. Outside, I started to release Vivian's hand. She held on 1 second longer. Then let me. Greedy, I said. Yes. No denial. We walked 1 block. Then she stopped. Dinner tonight. That sounded like an order. She corrected instantly. Would you have dinner with me tonight? I looked at her. No. Her expression cooled. Why? Because I have work. I can wait. Also because I don't want every emotional moment with Leah to turn into you collecting me afterward. That hit her. Good. She nodded. You're right. Tomorrow. Her face changed. Tomorrow? Dinner. Yes. Too fast. I laughed. I'm not marrying you. Yet. Vivian. Dinner. That night, Leah texted. I saw you holding her hand. I deleted it. Then another arrived. You never held my hand at work. That one I answered. Because you asked me not to. No reply. Tomorrow's dinner suddenly mattered for a new reason. I did not want Vivian to become a symbol of what Leah lost. I wanted to know whether I liked Vivian when nobody else was watching. I did. That was inconvenient. Dinner lasted 3 hours. Vivian chose a small Vietnamese place where nobody cared who she was. That surprised me. You eat here? Once a week. You? Yes. Without a private room? Daniel. I'm adjusting. She rolled her eyes. Another surprise. The Ice Queen rolled her eyes. We talked about nothing important for the first 20 minutes. Bad coffee. Her hatred of golf. My habit of rebuilding old radios. Then she stole a piece of pork from my plate. I stared. You have your own. Yours looked better. That is theft. Call legal. I laughed. Easy. That scared me more than intensity. Then a man approached our table. Vivian. She looked up. I recognized him. Adrian Cole, Chief Strategy Officer at another healthcare company. The business press had linked them romantically twice. Adrian smiled. Didn't know you were in town this week. I live here. He laughed. Then looked at me. Recognition clicked. Daniel Vale. Yeah. You're the reliability consultant. That's one way to ruin an introduction. He smiled. Then looked back at Vivian. Still coming to Aspen next month? No. He seemed surprised. You already canceled? Yes. Because of work? Vivian looked at me. Then said, because I have other plans. My pulse kicked. Adrian noticed. Of course. He excused himself. I leaned back. You canceled Aspen? Yes. Before tonight? Yes. When? The morning after your divorce. I stared. That is Yandera behavior. I don't know what that means. It means slightly concerning. Her mouth curved. I had no intention of spending 4 days pretending to enjoy being introduced to Adrian's investor friends while waiting to see if you would answer my texts. Possessive. Yes. But you weren't dating me. No. Still aren't. Her eyes narrowed. Temporary problem. I laughed again. Then something shifted. Why Adrian? What? You could date almost anyone. That is statistically exaggerated. You know what I mean. Vivian looked at her water. Then answered. Because men like Adrian are easy. I waited. They know exactly what they want from me. Network. Status. Access. Sometimes admiration. And me? You tell me no. I smiled. That simple? No. She looked at me. You also make useful things less complicated. There it was. Explain. She leaned back. When Crow Meridian was trying to decide whether to close the Springfield distribution center, every executive brought me models. I remembered that year. Barely. Vivian continued. You were there because Leah asked you to review the maintenance numbers. I told her the shutdown model was wrong. You told me. I remembered now. A conference call. I had no title there. I still told the CEO her assumptions were garbage. You said the center wasn't failing. Its preventive maintenance schedule was. It was. You rebuilt the schedule in 2 days. With the technicians. And saved the site. I shrugged. We saved the site. Vivian's eyes sharpened. That. What? You always change I to we when the work is good and we to I when something goes wrong. That stopped me. I had never noticed. She had. That was when I started loving you. There it was. Before halfway. No dragging. I went still. Vivian did too. She had said it. Not liking. Not wanting. Loving. Vivian. I know. You just said. Yes. You plan to? No. Good. She looked almost annoyed with herself. Then added, I am not asking you to say it back. That mattered. I sat with it. The woman across from me had loved me while I was married and never interfered. Then the moment I was free, she grabbed my arm and declared war on waiting. It was ridiculous. Also weirdly consistent. Why didn't you tell Leah? Vivian's face cooled. Because she was my employee and your wife. Did she ever know? No. Not even suspect? No. That would change. Soon. Because the next morning, Chroma Radian's executive committee approved a new consulting contract for my firm. Vivian had recused. Leah had not. And she voted against it. I found out from operations. Not because they wanted drama. Because the vote was tied until legal intervened and removed Leah from the decision for personal conflict. I stared at the email. My ex-wife had left me for her ex. And now she was trying to block my company from working with hers because I had started seeing her CEO. That was no longer regret. That was interference. I called Leah. What did you do? Silence. Then. Who told you? Wrong answer. Leah defended the vote for exactly 40 seconds. Daniel, your involvement creates complications. For whom? The company. No. I stood in my office. You had no problem with the consulting review before you saw me with Vivian. That's not fair. It's exact. Your relationship with her could influence procurement. Vivian recused. That doesn't erase perception. Neither does you voting on my contract while we're divorcing. Silence. There. She knew. Then Leah said, I was trying to protect the company. I almost laughed. No. You were trying to protect a version of this where you leave me and I remain exactly where you put me. That's not true. Then why do you care who I date? I don't. Why do you care if Vivian chooses me? Long silence. Finally. Because she never chooses anyone. There it was. Not love. Ego. The woman Leah admired professionally was choosing the man Leah had just discarded romantically. That hurt her identity. I understood. Didn't sympathize. Legal removed you from the vote. I know. Good. She inhaled sharply. I regretted the word only because it sounded like Vivian. Then I said, do not involve yourself in my work again. Leah's voice softened. Daniel, I don't want us to become enemies. We aren't. That surprised her. We're becoming separate. I ended the call. An hour later, Vivian arrived at my office. Not Chroma Radian. Mine. No appointment. I stared when my receptionist showed her in. You cannot keep materializing. I can schedule next time. Why are you here? Leah. Of course. I handled it. I know. How? Legal told me. I folded my arms. And you recused. Yes. Good. Vivian looked at me carefully. You're angry. Little. Want me to fire her? I stared. She held the expression for 2 seconds. Then. That was a joke. I started laughing. You are getting dangerous. I am developing range. She sat across from me. I will not interfere with Leah's employment unless she gives me a work reason. Thank you. However. Of course. If she uses her role against you again, legal handles it. Also good. Vivian leaned back. Now my personal reaction. I raised an eyebrow. I disliked that she had you for 7 years and somehow managed to make you think being easy to rely on meant being easy to take for granted. That landed hard. Vivian. You want honesty. Yes. I have hated that for 3 years. While saying nothing. You were married. There it was again. She had rules. Rigid ones. Then I said, I kissed her before signing the divorce papers. Vivian went still. What? Not like that. Her face remained cold. Explain quickly. I smiled. 3 weeks before the papers. She cried. Said she was confused. I kissed her because I thought maybe we could still fix it. Vivian's jaw tightened. And? She pulled away. A small, ugly memory. She said it felt dishonest because she was already thinking about Travis. Vivian's hand closed around the armrest. jealousy, pain. Not because I had kissed my wife. Because she understood what that rejection did. She made you audition for your own marriage. That sentence hit exactly right. I looked at her. Yeah. Vivian stood, walked around my desk, stopped close. Not touching. Can I? I knew what she meant. Yes. She kissed me. First kiss. Not dramatic. Not revenge. Slow. Certain. The opposite of the last kiss Leah and I had shared. Vivian pulled back first. I am not auditioning you. My pulse was loud. Good. I already chose. There it was. Another major relationship payoff. Then I said, that does not mean you win. Her eyes narrowed. I know. I need to choose too. Her expression softened. That is what I'm waiting for. No silence. No fake misunderstanding. Clear. Then someone knocked. My receptionist opened the door. Sorry, Daniel, the hospital validation call is ready. Vivian stepped away immediately. Work. No drama. At the door, she looked back. Dinner Friday? Yes. Date? Yes. Her eyes flashed. Good. I laughed after she left. I had been divorced less than 2 weeks. I was not healed, but I was also done pretending healing meant refusing every good thing until some invisible timer expired. Vivian was not replacing Leah. She was becoming something separate. That distinction changed everything. Travis contacted me next. That was not on my list of expected problems. He called my office Monday morning. Daniel, it's Travis Bennett. I know. Can we talk? No. Fair. He sounded tired. That surprised me. Then he said, it's about Leah. Of course. I'm not involved. That's kind of the problem. I leaned back. Explain. She keeps asking about you. I said nothing. She wants to know if you're with Vivian, whether you're selling the house, whether you're moving. That sounds like something you should discuss with her. I have. And? She says she just wants closure. I almost laughed. She had closure. It came with legal signatures. Travis exhaled. I thought when we got back together, we were picking up where we stopped. There it was. The fantasy. And? We're not 24. No sympathy. Still true. He continued. She compares everything. To me? Yes. That was not satisfying. It was sad. The great old love story had survived because it never had to live through adulthood. Now it did. Travis, I'm not coming back. I know. Tell her that if she asks. I have. That was enough. I ended the call. Then I did something important. I did not tell Vivian immediately. Not because I hid it. Because I did not want Leah becoming the center of our relationship. That evening, Vivian came to my apartment. First time. She stopped inside the door. Looked around. Small. I own a house. Temporarily. Real estate critic? Yes. I had moved out of the marital house while it was listed. The apartment was clean. Functional. Almost aggressively temporary. Vivian noticed the single chair at the dining table. Where do guests sit? Couch. She looked at the couch. Then at me. Good. You are unbelievable. She brought dinner. Not catered. Actual food from a neighborhood place. We ate on the couch. Halfway through, she asked, how are you? I almost said fine. Then remembered she hated easy answers. Travis called. Vivian's chopsticks stopped. There was the ice queen. What did he want? Leah keeps asking about me. Her expression went glacial. Do you care? That was the right question. No. Vivian relaxed. Not fully. She regrets it? Maybe. You sound indifferent. I think I am. That surprised me too. For years, Leah's opinion of me mattered more than I admitted. Whether she thought my firm was ambitious enough. Whether I traveled too much. Whether my clothes looked professional at her company events. Whether I was wasting expertise on small consulting jobs instead of taking an executive role. I had spent too much time adjusting to avoid becoming a burden to her rise. Now her regret arrived after I stopped needing her approval. And it felt small. Vivian studied me. What? You look relieved. I am. Because she regrets it? No. I smiled. Because I don't need her to. Something warm crossed Vivian's face. She put down her food. Then moved closer. Good. Again. Yes. I kissed her. This time I started it. That mattered. Her hand slid behind my neck. My hand settled at her waist. No ex-wife in the room. No competition. No revenge. When we separated, Vivian's forehead stayed against mine. That was different. Yeah. Why? Because I wanted to. Her eyes closed briefly. That was the reward she had been waiting for. Not being chosen because she was better than Leah. Being chosen because I wanted her. Then she whispered, "Say it again." "What?" "That you wanted to." I smiled. "I wanted to kiss you." Her breath changed. "Again. You're demanding." "Yes." So I kissed her again. The next morning, Meridian offered my firm a 1-year systems contract. Independent selection. Legal reviewed. Vivian recused. Leah recused too, voluntarily this time. That surprised me. Maybe she was learning. Then another surprise arrived. The contract required one member of my firm to work on-site 3 days a week. Operations suggested me. Vivian objected. Not formally. Personally. "You cannot be in my building 3 days a week." I stared. "Why?" "Because I will become unprofessional." I laughed. "Finally, honest risk assessment." She pointed at me. "Send someone else." "Are you telling me how to run my firm?" "No." "Sounds like it." She stopped. Then corrected. "Please send someone else." I smiled. Better. In the end, I assigned my senior engineer. Not for Vivian. Because she was better for the day-to-day implementation and I needed to keep growing my own client base. Vivian hated losing the excuse to see me. That was almost adorable. Almost. The divorce finalized 12 weeks after the hotel. Leah asked to meet once before court. I agreed. Public cafe. 30 minutes. She arrived without Travis. That told me enough. "You look good," she said. "So do you." She didn't. Not terrible. Just unsettled. "How's Vivian?" I looked at her. "You can ask about me." She smiled sadly. "Fair. Then. Are you happy?" "Yes." That answer surprised both of us. Not perfectly. Not magically. But yes. Leah looked down. I made a mistake. There it was. The moment another version of me had imagined. Her regret. My vindication. It felt quiet. What mistake? Thinking history meant compatibility. Good insight. Late. I loved Travis when I was 24. I know. When he came back, I thought the part of me that wondered what if meant something. It did. What? That you needed to find out. She looked at me. "You're not angry?" I was. "And now?" "Mostly done." That hurt her. More than anger would have. She nodded. Then said, "I miss you." I didn't answer immediately. Not because I was tempted. Because she deserved a truthful response. "You miss being known." Her eyes filled. I continued. "I knew how you took coffee. Which clients made you nervous? When you needed me to stay quiet at a company dinner and when you wanted me to rescue you from one." She laughed through tears. "You knew everything." "Not everything." I looked at her. "I didn't know you were still building a life around a question from college." She looked down. "Would you ever forgive me?" "I already do." Hope flashed. I stopped it. "That doesn't mean I come back." Hope disappeared. Good. Clean. No cruelty. No ambiguity. Then Leah asked the question I expected. "Do you love her?" "Vivian." I thought about it. "Not yet." Leah looked surprised. "But?" "I'm going there." That was more honest. When I left the cafe, Vivian was not outside. She had asked whether I wanted her there. I said no. She respected it. That mattered more than showing up. I called her from the car. "Done." "How do you feel?" "Free." Silence. Then, "Come over." That sounded like an order. "Please." I smiled. On my way. Vivian's home surprised me. No giant mansion. No museum. A modern townhouse with books everywhere and one extremely ugly orange chair. I pointed. "That. No. It is criminal. My father loved it." Then I respected emotionally and hated visually. Accepted. She handed me wine. Then took it back. "You're driving." I laughed. "You are deeply controlling. Selective." We sat. I told her about Leah. Not every sentence. Enough. Vivian listened. Then asked one question. "Did you want to go back?" "No." Instant. Her shoulders relaxed. "You were worried." "Yes." "Why?" "Because I am not stupid." "Fair." I moved closer. "You told me you love me." "Yes." "You said you weren't asking me to say it back." "Yes." "Still true?" Her eyes narrowed. "Mostly." I laughed. Then I took her hand. "I love you." She froze. Completely. The CEO disappeared. "Daniel." "I'm not saying it because the divorce finalized." Her eyes stayed on mine. "I'm not saying it because Leah regrets leaving." Her fingers tightened around mine. I'm saying it because every time you had enough power to make my choices easier for yourself, you stepped back. Vivian's eyes went shiny. You chased me. Yes. Very aggressively. Yes. But you never cornered me. A tear appeared. She looked offended by it. I smiled. I love you. Her voice came out soft. Again. I laughed. Of course. I love you. Vivian pulled me into her. Not graceful. Not CEO controlled. Just arms around my neck and her face against my shoulder. Then she whispered, "Good." I laughed into her hair. Relationship fully confirmed before the final chapter. Now the ending did not need a last-minute confession. It needed to prove we could build something real after the chase ended. 6 months later, Vivian stopped chasing me. That scared me for approximately 1 day. No surprise dinners. No appearing at my office. No possessive texts about female clients. No accidental invitations to Crow Meridian events. I noticed. Then I realized why. We had become normal. Not boring. Chosen. Wednesday dinners. Saturday mornings at a farmer's market she claimed to hate. My toothbrush at her place. Her spare charger at mine. A drawer in each apartment. Not marriage. Not yet. Real enough. Then Crow Meridian promoted Leah. That surprised everyone except Vivian. I asked about it. You promoted my ex-wife? Vivian looked up from her laptop. Operations recommended her. And? She earned it. That was clean. No revenge. No punishment because of me. I love Vivian more for that. Leah eventually moved to Denver for the new role. Travis did not go. I heard they ended things quietly. No collapse. No public humiliation. Just two adults discovering that unfinished history was not the same as unfinished destiny. My own work changed too. Veil Systems grew. The Crow Meridian contract helped, but it did not define us. We added 2 hospital networks. Then a pharmaceutical distribution client. I hired 3 engineers. The most satisfying moment came during a quarterly review when my senior engineer, Paige Monroe, presented the pharmacy cabinet fix we had originally found. A Crow Meridian executive thanked me. I pointed to Paige. She led implementation. Vivian watched from the end of the table. That look again. The one that told me she still loved the same thing she noticed years ago. After the meeting, she caught my arm. Same place as the hotel. I looked down. Careful. Her mouth curved. What? You grabbed me the first night. I remember. You told me you were going to chase me. I did. Then you stopped. Her eyes narrowed. Complaint? Observation. She released my arm. I immediately caught her hand. Vivian looked down. Then at me. There. What? I chase you now too. That smile was worth everything. 2 weeks later, Crow Meridian held its annual leadership dinner at the same hotel where Leah had handed me the divorce papers. I almost refused to go, then decided that would give the room too much power. Vivian invited me as her partner. Publicly. No secret. No awkward category. We walked into the ballroom together. People noticed. Including Leah. She stood near the bar with 2 colleagues. Our eyes met. She smiled once. Small. I smiled back. Done. Vivian noticed. Of course. Do you want to leave? No. You sure? Yes. Then I looked at her. Jealous? No. I waited. Her mouth tightened. A little. I laughed. Good. She stared. You are stealing my word. I learned from the best. Dinner began. Halfway through, the hotel staff opened a terrace for guests. Vivian and I went outside. Same corridor. Same turn. Almost the exact place she had grabbed my arm 6 months earlier. I stopped. She looked at me. What? You remember? Yes. Exactly? Yes. What did you think when you saw me with the divorce folder? Vivian looked toward the city lights. Then answered. I thought, finally. I laughed. Brutal. I also thought you looked like someone had removed the floor. That was closer. I wanted to hold you. So you grabbed me. Yes. And said good. Yes. Terrible comfort technique. I panicked. I stared. You? Yes. Vivian Crow panicked? I had spent 3 years promising myself I would never interfere with your marriage. Her voice softened. Then suddenly there was no marriage. And your first instinct was to declare a pursuit. I had waited long enough. Fair. Then she looked at me. I would do one thing differently. What? I would ask before grabbing your arm. Growth. I smiled. You can ask now. Her eyes narrowed slightly. May I hold you? Yeah. Vivian stepped close. wrapped both arms around me. No audience trick. No claim. I held her back. Then she whispered, I still want to marry you. I laughed softly. You never actually asked. Her body went still. I felt it. Then she pulled back. Daniel. What? You are correct. That hurts you? Deeply. She looked toward the ballroom, then back at me. Not tonight. I raised an eyebrow. You're postponing? No. She reached into her clutch. My pulse jumped. Then she pulled out nothing but her phone. I laughed. You terrified me. Good. There it is again. She unlocked the screen. Opened a note. I leaned closer. At the top, things I am not allowed to decide without Daniel. I stared. Number 1. Where he works. 2. When he answers messages. 3. Whether he wants help. 4. What counts as too much space in his refrigerator. I laughed. Then I reached the last line. 5. When we get married. I looked at her. Vivian's eyes were soft. I wrote that after the first month. Why? Because I realized I had spent years imagining the answer before you knew there was a question. That was her final growth. Not giving up wanting. Giving up ownership of the timing. I took the phone from her. Added a 6th line. She frowned. What are you doing? I handed it back. She read. 6. Whether Daniel is allowed to ask first. Vivian looked up sharply. I smiled. Then reached into my jacket. Her entire face changed. The ring was simple. No giant stone. No spectacle. White gold with a dark green sapphire because Vivian wore green only when she wanted to feel less like CEO armor. Her hand covered her mouth. That alone nearly ruined me. I did not kneel immediately. I wanted her listening first. You said good when my marriage ended. I know. Terrible. I know. But you were right about one thing. Her eyes filled. That ending gave me room for something else. I took her hand. You didn't save me from Leah. No. You didn't make me successful. No. You didn't make me worth choosing. Vivian's fingers tightened around mine. You just saw it before I did. That broke her. A tear slipped down. She looked furious at it. I smiled. Then I knelt. Vivian Crow. Yes. I haven't asked yet. Yes anyway. I laughed. Will you marry me? Yes. Immediate. No hesitation. Then she grabbed my shoulders and pulled me up before I could get the ring properly onto her finger. Same woman. Same lack of patience. She kissed me hard enough that somebody inside the ballroom probably noticed. I did not care. When we separated, I finished sliding the ring into place. Vivian looked at it. Then at me. Husband. Not yet. Technicality. I laughed. You stole that from yourself somehow. She caught my arm. Exactly like the first night. This time gently. Good. What now? Her smile appeared. Not CEO. Mine. Now I don't have to chase you. I looked at her hand on my arm, then covered it with mine. No. I pulled her closer. Now we chase each other. And for once, Vivian Crow had no correction. That's all for today. Remember to subscribe and support us.